He's so for real, he was always going to cheat. Like, at some point, eventually, and probably on this spring break trip, whether he found out about Belly and Conrad hanging out together at the beach house during Christmas or not, whether there was any kind of rationalization in his head as to why he could maybe justify doing something to hurt her back, like, I don't even think that mattered. Like, regardless of any kind of, like, what if he finds out, which I think it probably would be, like, a very dramatic thing to include in the show. Like, I've seen such great theories from my friends about, like, him finding the crossword puzzle or finding the note that Conrad wrote to Belly. Or what if he just looked through her phone and then he saw in her text messages to Conrad, he saw that she locked up the beach house and that they met up at Christmas. It would be as easy as just looking through her text messages. What I'm saying is, regardless of all of that, I think he was always going to cheat on her. And I say this because in season 1, we verbally hear him telling Belly, I've just been waiting for you. I've been waiting for my chance. I've been waiting for my turn. That's obviously not true. And that's the genius of Jenny's writing, is that she'll say something in dialogue that you can take at face value, but then she'll show you very clearly with layers on layers of footage from all of season 1 and even dialogue from Conrad in season 2. And also Steven calls out Jeremiah by the end of season 1. All of these things tell you that there's contradiction in what Jeremiah is saying, that he's actually not telling the truth. He was never waiting for Belly. He was always off playing around and flirting with somebody else. Even at the bonfire, he said that it was earlier that day that he knew in that moment that he was in love with Belly, the moment that he saw her. And yet, an opportunity is handed to him on a silver platter to just talk to her or just hang out at this bonfire. And does he take it? No, he runs away immediately to 2 other girls and abandons Belly, who then meets Cam Cameron. And then Jeremiah spends Belly's entire birthday humiliating her and Cam Cameron in front of the entire family, and then in front of every single other teenager at that party, again, on her birthday. Because he never wanted her in the first place. He was just triggered when he heard Taylor say, oh, that's that guy who got you to finally stop thinking about Conrad. It triggered him. And he just had to ruin her entire night and had to humiliate Cam Cameron. Then he was triggered again on the 4th of July when his dad abandoned him, and then he sees Conrad and Belly, and he sees them so close, and he sabotages their chances and spends the entire next day getting in between them on purpose, trying to manipulate the way that things would go, and then he swoops in at the last minute to kiss Belly. He was never looking for anything serious. He was just trying to take something away. And then I think he felt stuck when he finally did end up with Belly, and he wasn't just holding this grudge against her and stonewalling her and unleashing rage at her for literally no justifiable reason for over a year while she was grieving Susanna and while she was grieving her breakup with Conrad. I think Jeremiah realized he was stuck in this relationship because there was no way out of it. His only solution was to end up with Belly for the rest of his life. And I think that he knew that, and he wasn't going to let her go, and he wasn't just going to give up on their relationship and give up on what they had, because that also would require, I don't know, some critical thought and like maybe a difficult conversation with her. So instead of doing that, Jeremiah picked the easiest way out and manufactured and manipulated a fake breakup between them so that he could be single and he could be young and he could blow off some steam, like I think he always wanted to do. I think he always imagined that's who he would be in college, because that's who he was in season 1 and what we've always seen from him. I think that he missed the ability to have that freedom and have those opportunities. I think that adulthood scares him. And so I think before he was graduating, going on this spring break trip, I think regardless of whatever he could have been triggered about or whatever he could have used as justification to get back at Belly for. I think he was always going to cheat on Belly. I don't know to what extent he was going to mess around, but I think he was always eventually at some point going to cheat on her, likely with this trip and this opportunity, because he never actually wanted commitment. He never actually wanted to give up being young and single. He also has lost himself in this relationship, and like that's the whole point, is that he decided to ruin Conrad's life and Belly's and his own. Funny enough, because I don't think this was ever what he really wanted. I just don't think that he knew how to get out of it or how to experience what he felt he was missing out on. So I think that this was a fake breakup from the beginning, because Jeremiah is so selfish. He's not willing to have an honest and difficult conversation or to let this woman go. He had to humiliate her, hurt her, break up with her, throw her away like trash, and 2 seconds later, cheat on her twice. 2 times. Twice. With someone who knew he was in a long-term relationship with Belly. They all had this disgusting part in it and knew what Jeremiah was doing. He had his fun and then he went straight back to Belly, expecting no consequences, no honest conversation, expecting full forgiveness.